back at home tonight. Another home game. Cherokee's in town to take on the Cougars, the team the Cougars played a season before at Rogersville. Coach, what a luxury getting back home again tonight.
Oh, that's no doubt about that. I love the atmosphere that we had game one, and I mean it was this place is none other. It's above and beyond, a place to play at home, and I'm very excited about being back at home, and I'm definitely excited about not having to travel way up to Cherokee, especially with, a few things that happened last year as far as with our bus and things like that. So it's very nice to be at home.
Coach, one of the biggest crowds we've had here in several years on Friday night. To have that kind of crowd again tonight would certainly be a big advantage.
Oh, 100%. I mean, our crowd was into it. I mean, they were loud. They get excited. We set off some fireworks throughout the game, which is very exciting. And it's such a great atmosphere, and just having this home field advantage up on the hill is, it's one of those things that you always live for. And when it comes to a Friday night, that's what you want.
A week ago, Campbell County falls at home to Lenore City. Coach, I thought besides the turnovers and the loss, what a spirited effort by your team. Just gave it every bit of heart all night long.
Oh, I agree. I mean, moving the football up and down the field, doing some good jobs, played pretty good defense, early on. We didn't tackle very well in the fourth quarter, but, hats off to Lenore City. They found something that was working, and they stuck with it. And, it's one of those things where, it was a great football game, to be into, throughout probably about 3 quarters, and it was exciting. Hopefully our fans, thought it was exciting. I mean, the way they sounded, I felt like it was one of those things where they were definitely into it. And I mean, just the atmosphere and just getting back to the Friday night football.
You were able to come out of the game fairly clean, but Owen Blankenblicker injured on Friday night. What's his status for tonight?
Right now it's just pending. We're just kind of seeing it day by day. Mm-hmm. I'm not 100% sure what he's going to do for Friday, but we'll just kind of let it ride out. So we'll see what happens, with that.
What did you learn about your team in that first game that maybe you didn't know or maybe hadn't even thought about?
Well, I mean, I think it's just the same thing. I've seen these guys work from last January to now. It's the same team that's kind of building upon each week, getting better every day. The first 2 preseason games, scrimmages, they weren't great, but, you saw glimpses. Mm-hmm. And so what I felt like Friday night is they kind of started putting it together. And like I've always been saying, throughout, the course of this off season and to today, is just learning how to finish. And I think that's something that we are getting very, very close. We're taking the appropriate steps, going to do that is to finish games. And hopefully, we can continue to take those steps and hopefully get us a win.
With Cherokee tonight, you're facing a team that rushed for well more than 200 yards a week ago. A shutout against Pigeon Forge, though it was a home game, but a strong defense, a tough running game. Oh yeah,
I mean they are very physical. Like I've always said, the more physical team wins. So hopefully we can match their physicality. They do a great job with what they do offensively. Defensively, I think they've got some matchup issues as far as with our guys, but. I feel comfortable going into this game. These guys are ready. We're working hard throughout the week, and hopefully we can move the football and hopefully we can tackle.
What are some things you've seen maybe on your film as well as Cherokee's film that you'll put into action tonight?
Well, I think just a few things. I think we've got a couple matchups as far as their secondary and ours, our wide receiving core. I think up front, it may be a little bit tougher, but I think we can still move the ball on the ground. But hopefully we can. I think the biggest key is probably the physicality on the defensive line and linebacker and core to their run game. So, it's one of those things where we're going to try to take advantage of a few formations and things like that, and hopefully, we can continue the success moving the football and hopefully get a couple stops.
Of course, all eyes are on the quarterback. It doesn't matter how well you're doing or how whatever the case may be for your team. Silas Weaver has to have some confidence and has to have some folks with some confidence in him after the first game, I thought.
Oh, no doubt. I mean, first full-time starting home game, I think he played very well. Made about 3 mistakes that we can work on and look at, and we watched the film, and we we hopefully corrected it throughout the week. So it's one of those things where I'm excited for him. I think he's going to be a positive influence going, throughout the year. And, he's just, he works. He watches the film. He works. He comes ready to go every day. So that's one thing that a lot of kids don't have. But he's one of those kids that's got that nature about him that he's going to come to work.
I thought the rest of the team really rallied around him Friday night.
Oh, 100%. I mean, that's what I was, with a core group of our guys, that senior class, they've really rallied the team together. I think that for the most part, we all enjoy being around each other, you know what I'm saying? And they come in my office and we all talk ball and we all talk, just about life and things like that. And it's I feel like a really big, team camaraderie. It's good team camaraderie with our group, and it kind of shows out on the field. I mean, if you don't have that, you're going to see that out on the field, and if you do, you're also going to see that out on the field. And I think we show that we're kind of a close-knit group.
What did you see in film and coming off that first game that you'd like to see improved tonight and that you worked on this week in practice?
Well, just turning the ball over, ball security as far as, the offense is going. And, like we do every week, we're working on tackling and doing those things. I mean, I thought for the most part in that first half, we tackled well, got them to go back to the huddles. I kind of, coined a phrase that we try to get them to go back, instead of big, long runs. We don't want to give up big plays, things like that. So, just the standard stuff that we do. But, we kind of really overworked with a little bit of ball security this week, and, of course, the tackling.
Well, Coach, we wish you well tonight against Cherokee, and we'll see you after the game.
All right, I appreciate it. Go Cougars.
Head coach Taylor Ownbey and the Cougars set to take on Cherokee here in just a bit on the WLAF Thor's Tire Shop Sports Network. Stay connected.